Hi, this is Eric with Blue Mountain Precision. At Blue Mountain Precision here, we build precision rifles. So at Blue Mountain Precision, as you would think, we would all the practices that I do here on machining and everything that you, the end user, gets is done in a precision manner. This is why I truly believe in a full blueprint job, even in a hunting rifle. It builds consistency out of a factory gun that's out of this world. If you want that quarter-minute gun out of a factory gun, it's achievable if you can shoot that well. That's the trick of it. Even me, some days I struggle. But anyways, I just want to go over what blueprint job is. This is a 700 Remington, the same what we have back here in our gray tan action jig. This is sought after action in the industry. This is a left-handed model here, so for this customer. But the Remington 700 is kind of the benchmark of your factory actions out there. And as the factory made this, blueprint refers to where the action was designed around and the specs that the action intended form to all be the factory intended form to be built to. So everything has a certain distance from here to the head spacing, and the face of the bolt and everything else is supposed to be in a certain spec. The thread's supposed to be in a certain spec, all this stuff. What all that means and the way they made it is so that way it's concentric of the bore of the rifle. That's what builds accuracy. When that alignment's off, you can imagine that bullet does not like to enter the bore squarely. It disforms the bullet. It sends a harmonics down the barrel, which you can never make that rifle shoot again if all that's off. So when you do a quality blueprint job on a factory action, it really puts all that concentric of the bore, and that's what you're doing back here in this back end of the rifle. So I'm going to go in there and I'm going to run a mandrel in this jig, and what it does is it takes and it runs the action true on the axis of this raceway of the bolt raceway through the action. So that way everything and all the cuts are done of the concentric of this raceway, which everything when the barrel's done is going to be concentric of the bore of the barrel and in alignment with the center line of your raceway of your action. This is not ever true on any factory action, not just Remington, all actions, you know. Some are a little better at quality control than others, but there's a lot of things that happen on these actions. I mean, there's your mag well that's cut in, there's your port that's cut in. There's a lot of ways that this action sees a lot of different stress and movement in it that throws these little increments off. And so anyways, to start the blueprint process, I'm going to spin this in this on the mandrel here that's running through the raceway of our jig, of our action jig here. And as you can see here, these are 10 thousandths indicators, so they're very, very, very sensitive. I've got them close as I can there to 0, and you can see that they're just sitting right on a 10 thousandths. That's how true it is running on the mandrel right now. So this action is running true to the raceway right now on this mandrel with the bushings that I have installed there. So anyways, now I'm going to spin this indicator, this 10 thousandths indicator, over to the face of the action and show you just only one cut on the action that's untrue. I put it here on the face. A lot of guys just true this face and that's all they do. Well, I don't just do that here. I go in depth in a blueprint job, and that's why I charge what I charge, because it's a full blueprint job when the action's done. Well, anyways, it's going up to 1 there, and it's coming down to a half. So just over 1 and just about to a half, and that's reading in the thousands. So this right now on the face of this action, it's running 1.5 thousandths untrue on this particular action. And then if the thread is untrue and not cut true, that also is going to add in on lack of concentricity of that bullet when it's put in that chamber, and when it's fired, what happens in misalignments there. So to make a precision rifle, you have to have all this stuff true, and it can Concentricity is key here. That's what we're going after in a blueprint job. So anyways, I've trued the face of the action now, and now I'm going to go in there and I'm going to true the back side of the thread, and I'm going to dial my machine into a 16 thread per inch thread, and I'm going to go in there and I'm going to chase the back side of the thread true and cut that true and back to the specs of what it was made for. Blueprint job. That's what you're going back to, is the factory blueprints. And now the lug abutments is going to be the last cut that I go and do. And I'm going to cut the lugs true in there, so that way they're both running parallel, concentric to the bore, everything like that. But mainly the reason for doing that is bolt contact on your lug abutments. When these lugs go in there, you want both lugs to have good contact. And when they have good contact, there's a lot of things that you eliminate. You eliminate the stress of this bolt when the 60,000 PSI load goes off from lifting or cocking. I mean, I've seen these lugs that are as much as 2,000ths off, and then you have the combination of your lugs on the back of your bolt that can be off. Anyways, so if the combination of both, you can have a lot, and you can have a lot of issues there with flyers. I'm sure you've experienced a lot of flyers. All this has to be done before you get into putting a barrel on, because it all plays an effective head spacing. And if you would go do and try to do any of this stuff after the fact, it's just not going to work very well. They typically made up fairly close on a factory action, but it's not perfect. And we're making it perfect is what we're doing here. And then at the final step, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to lap the lugs in there so we have good contact, known good contact of 80 to even 100% contact on the lugs. Then everything's set there. The final check I'm going to do on a blueprint job of this 700 Remington is I'm going to check the end, the play of the back end of the bolt here. I want to make sure that this bolt isn't real sloppy in the back end. And then I have other ways to fix that if I need to sleeve the bolt, have you, or whatever there, to fix it, to get the play down to 3 or 4 thousandths in a hunting application or a match tactical gun like that, where you still need to have a little room in there for some dirt or debris could ever get in there where you don't ever want to lock that bolt up. So this is briefly kind of goes over steps of a blueprint job. This is a very good process for a rifle that you already own and that's maybe dear to you, and you want to spruce it up a bit, or if you want to get into like my ultimate hunter gun that I sell at Blue Mountain Precision, which is more of an economy build for somebody. It's more time conducive for me, but in the end result, you get a very, very fine shooting rifle. All of them shoot half MOA or better that are consistent accuracy. Group to group, you know, we use a high-end match barrel, cut rifle barrel on it. That's not a cheap barrel on that rifle, but the price tag's, you know, a lot less than the other customs. Now on custom actions, all this is already done for you, and then there's a lot of other options that they put into the actions that they think is important for the end user, and that really does help you a lot. So this does not eliminate the guys that are thinking, maybe I want to buy a custom action and I don't want to part with one of the rifles I already own or go into another rifle like that. A build on a factory. I don't know if I want to stick the money into that, but I really want to go all out and go all custom. Well, this is a way to make a factory action perform great, and you can get accuracy close to a custom, but it does not replace your custom action out there. But it is a way better alternative than just chambering up a barrel and sticking it on your factory action, which I'll never do. So anyways, this just briefly explains the process that I go through on a blueprint job and doing all the different cuts that's involved to make your rifle perform out of this world. So thank you. This is Eric at Blue Mountain Precision.